Well, hello and welcome to all of you joining us here today. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, I have a very special guest here today, and it's always a pleasure to be chatting with Barbara Wilson-Clay, who is back here with us at Gold Learning. Barbara, welcome back. It's so good to have you here today.
Well, Fiona, it's always a pleasure. The Gold conferences have given me a lot of joy over the years, and I've always enjoyed interacting with the participants. And I think this year's going to be a lot of fun because it's so open-ended.
Absolutely. I know. I'm excited to dive into that in just a moment. But I must say, first of all, Barbara, I really miss you. I haven't seen you face to face to give you a hug in such a long time. But you know what? I'll take this any day of the week just to sit down with you and talk it out. And I know that our conversations are always so great. And that's really what we're going to be getting into in our gold session here on August 5th. So that's going to be really awesome as well. But let's dive into what's happening with you because I know you're at home. I know you're at home, but perhaps you can just introduce yourself once again to everyone around the world. Let them know where you are in the world and what's happening in your neck of the woods right now.
Well, like everybody else, I've been tremendously affected by the COVID-19
Mhm.
pandemic. Because I'm 72, my kids have effectively locked me up since about the beginning of March. I guess the good news is that I'm very engaged with my writing partner, Kay Hoover, in a revision of the Breastfeeding Atlas, which is the textbook that the two of us have been working on together for the last 22 years.
Wow.
And the current edition, the sixth edition, is still out there teaching people all over the world. We have worked with Fudan University in Shanghai, China. They have translated this edition, and it has been widely circulated now in China, and we're just so thrilled that it's teaching health workers there to better support mothers in lactation. And we're also working with a publisher in Korea, and the Korean translation of the book will be published in September this year. So that's exciting. And Kay and I are doing the research, and we sort of are compulsive people are, and we always like to improve the atlas every time we revise it. So we're deep in the process of doing that, and we've gathered more pictures this time from other contributors. Most of our pictures in that book has about, I'd say close to 400 photographs, clinical
Hmm.
photographs for teaching people about breastfeeding situations. And this time we really wanted to expand the number of photos of mothers and babies of color. And so we have got some really nice contributed photos coming in from all over the world, which is
Wonderful.
exciting. And we just stay very busy doing that work. I still do a little bit of phone counseling. It seems like everybody that I've ever known who's had a baby in the middle of this pandemic, you know, I call them my grandbabies. A lot of them are the grown children that I took care of when they were newborns and
Aw.
having nursing problems, but now they're having babies, and I'm doing a lot of phone counseling. It's an anxious time for mothers
Yes.
and for families in general. They have a lot of questions, and things that maybe wouldn't loom so large under normal circumstances are really throwing them for a loop now. So I'm grateful to be able to support mothers and babies and during this time. And other than that, I'm taking care of my dogs and my gardens and my
Good.
chickens, and just trying to keep my own spirits up.
Keep
But I'm
busy.
this is another nice opportunity to do that, to reach out to folks in this presentation. So thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. It really is our pleasure to be hosting you at this event. And again, for those of you listening in, Barbara's going to be with us on August 5th. And so you'll really want to tune in for that. You can go to the website right now at goldlearning.com and register for this event. It is, in fact, free. So make sure that you share that with all of your colleagues and friends. It's really going to be worthwhile for you to attend. Now, going back just to, I want to just talk a little bit about the Breastfeeding Atlas. And first of all, again, always, I know I probably say this a lot to you, but I am so, so grateful, Barbara, for that book, for my career. It's expanded my knowledge over and over again. And now when I'm teaching, I just pass it along to my students and they're always blown away. And I think now, if you think about it, how important has it become now as we're doing a lot of our teleconference? We might not be able to get in to see some of these cases. And so referring to the Atlas is going to be even more crucial. Who would have thought that there would have been that type of spin on it? I mean, it's maybe not the most positive, but it really has become a very positive resource. So again, where can folks get this book? It's called the Breastfeeding Atlas. It's in its sixth edition, you said right now.
Mhm.
Where can folks get it?
Well, in the United States, they can get it on Amazon. They're
Hmm.
Childbirth Graphics, Rittenhouse Book Distributors. These are places. We're not currently doing a lot of single copy sales because it's
Sure.
just too hard to do the shipping right now with the crisis going
Mm,
on.
right.
We do have a Canadian distributor. Parent Books in Toronto is our Canadian distributor. Um, we were just about to set up a UK and a European and EU Amazon distributorship, but that's been kind of put on hold because of the difficulties now with shipping. So
Right.
it is a little harder for people in some places to get copies, and we really do apologize for that. It's just the times are tough,
That's right.
um, but we do think that Kay and I are Kay Hoover, my co-author, and I were trained as teachers. And one
Right.
of the things that we were so struck by when we were young LCs was how difficult it was to obtain teaching materials.
Right.
And we began taking photographs because there weren't any. We would hear people describing what a tongue tie looked like, or describing a hydrocephalus.
Hmm.
We didn't have any concept of what these things look like, because sometimes you encounter things in practice that maybe you'll only see once or twice in a 30-year career.
Right.
And how is one supposed to recognize these conditions without ever having a visual image? So we began taking pictures to fill that gap.
Hmm.
And we just are obsessed with the idea that everybody should be getting out their phone cameras. When we started, you had
Yeah,
to use, quite expensive cameras and
that's right.
film and get everything developed. And maybe you'd take 24 pictures on a roll of film and one of them would be usable. So
Yeah,
we were self-funded and it was horribly expensive. So we tell people now there's just no excuse with everybody with a phone camera.
that's
You
right.
have
Yeah,
no excuse for not
no
expanding
excuse.
the
Yeah,
library of teaching photographs. And of course, you need to have a consent form, and we'll talk about some of that when we get to the ethics portion of the talk that I'm going to give for the Gold Conference.
yeah.
But it's very doable to get pictures to help your own presentations be more interesting. That's one way to use them. But Fiona, what you were talking about, colleagues needing to see the pictures in the atlas, mothers often do as well. I can't
Right.
tell you the numbers of times that as a practicing lactation consultant, I've had a mother who's been in great distress, who thinks that she's the only one in the world who's ever experienced something very difficult, and to be able to show her a picture and say, look, here's a woman with an abscess just as concerning as yours, and she got better. This
Right.
is what we can do to help you. This is how people get through this kind of situation. And it's enormously impactful for people to have visual images. Not all of us are, learners who can understand everything just with words. We need
No, that's
pictures.
true. Yeah,
We
so
need
true.
pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited always about your work and sharing it, and I'll continue to do that while I'm teaching. But let's jump in and talk about this presentation because there's so many things to share about it. First of all, again, remember this is going to be a free presentation. Mark it on your calendar right now, August 5th. So we're going to tell everybody it will be recorded. So that's the good news, and so you will be able to watch it on a different day. However, Barbara, the important thing about this session is that it's going to be interactive and folks can come and do what? What are they going to be doing when they come to your session?
Well, hopefully they're going to do what they're missing in the world right now, which is to have some ability to just chat with somebody they want to ask some questions of. When I was a young LC, and in fact, all the way through my career, anytime I ever went to a conference, if I ran into anybody who I thought knew something more than what I did, I would corner them and just ask them my burning questions
Sure.
and I've always tried to be very available when I've been the speaker, so that people could follow me into the restroom and holler at me through the stall door and say, "Wait a minute, what
Yeah,
about
don't go.
this?" And this is their. I told Fiona I didn't really want to do a formal lecture. I wanted to give people that opportunity to ask their burning questions.
Yes,
And if I don't know the answer, you'll see me admit that I don't know the answer, and that's good for you too, because not everybody knows every answer, and we all need to know where we should go to look for it if we don't know the
that's
answer to
right.
something.
That's right.
But it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about practice ethics, and we're going to talk about counseling. We're going to talk about opportunities for advocacy, and you can share your stories with me about what really wonderful things you're doing in your community, uh, to protect and promote breastfeeding and the rights of mothers and babies to have
Mhm.
this kind of health care. And we're going to talk about some lactation management challenges
Right.
as well. So
Yeah.
think about what you'd like to ask, and bring your questions, and we'll have a good talk. We'll pretend we're able to really be together.
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a great sit down talk with one of the greatest mentors that's out there. That's right. That's you, Barbara. Barbara Wilson Clay will be with us live on August 5th, as I mentioned. And you can go to the website. Make sure you check out the time zone because it's going to be different for everyone. So go to the website right now at goldlearning.com and you can click on Barbara's link. You'll see it on there. We also have the opportunity to fill out a pre webinar questionnaire for you as well, just to do a little bit of prep work, get you ready and primed. You don't have to do those, but it's always a great way to sit down and just think about that process as well. But we'll invite you also, if you'd like to, you can pop questions in the comments below. That's right. We'll be gathering all of that information and bringing it to the table that day and having an opportunity to ask all of those burning questions, as Barbara said. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. It's really always a pleasure to sit down with you. I'm excited about the day as well. I can't wait to be able to see some of the conversation. I'm always hungry to learn as well. I'm a forever learner, as I call myself, and I can't wait for all of us to come together and sit down and have this conversation. So thank you for joining us here today.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you to all of you, our viewers. Once again, don't forget you can check out all the details on goldlearning.com, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the day on August 5th. Bye bye for now, everyone.
Bye bye.